I started off as a fan of Dragon Ball Z first. Everyone loves it.
Princess Peach or Toad.
Like, what am I watching, man?
Hey guys, ladies and gentlemen, we are here on Tales from the Film Set, aka Stream Punk Entertainment, and I have the one, the only Jim Gleason, and you may recognize him from TV shows like Glee, House, Castle, ER, Grey's Anatomy, Criminal Minds, and American Horror Stories, or you may recognize him from some of the movies that he's been in, like The Butler, 5 Feet Apart, which I've got my copy right here, What Would Jesus Do, which I also have my copy here, and God's Not Dead. How are you doing, sir?
Doing well, thank you.
I'm just so happy to have you on, and like I said, I do have my signed copies that hopefully next time I see you, I'm going to bring these to get you signed or send them in to you. But yeah, I wanted to show those off. But yeah, well, I guess let's go ahead and get started. I know the first time I got to meet you was just at the wonderful Cajun Con.
Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, that was your first ever convention, correct?
It was my first time to be at a table, yes. I've been a patron, but never a guest.
Awesome. How was your first experience?
I loved it. It was a lot of fun. And I'm a total nerd, so I was jazzed about the Willy Wonka kids being there.
Yes.
There's my poster. I got my poster signed, and so that was a big draw for me too. But I've wanted to do these for a while, and I've been in enough movies where I'm like, I got some juice. I could probably sit at a table. So it was great. It was great, and it was really great because I shared a table with my friend who's another New Orleans actor who's also on the SAG-AFTRA board with me. He's a vice president, Billy Slaughter. So I hung out with my friend.
Yes.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, you guys look like you had a blast together.
Yeah, good times.
And I actually, speaking of SAG, I saw you guys' picture that you posted like today that was with Sean Astin.
Yeah.
Looked like you guys were at some event recently, so that was really cool.
The New Orleans Fan Expo.
That's cool.
Past weekend. So we went Saturday, and we'd seen, I'm the president and Billy's the vice president. So we'd had 3 Zoom meetings with Sean. And so it was just nice to go there and meet him in person. So
yeah, no, that's really awesome.
Yeah.
So speaking of acting, what inspired you to be an actor? How did it all begin?
Well, that's an interesting question. In 4th grade, there was a classroom play. Just in class, we did a play, and I got the lead in the play, and that was it. I was like, this is a blast. I love this. So every chance I had, I got involved in whatever plays or productions were being, mounted. And so I did plays all through school. And then when I got into high school, I was a senior, and I did the high school plays plus community theater plays. There was a community theater that still exists actually in this neighborhood. And so I did plays there. And then I studied theater at Tulane. I got in and out in 4 years. And then I stayed in New Orleans for about 10 years, working in film and television when there really wasn't much here. So I moved to Los Angeles for 14 years.
Wow.
And then there was so much work here that I came home in 2012, met my wife, married her, and then I've been teaching here and acting ever since.
Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So is there any, was there like any favorite TV shows or anything you grew up that also inspired the acting as well? Was there any like favorite actors or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was a huge Star Trek fan.
Okay.
The original series, and a huge Batman fan.
Ooh.
The 1966.
Yeah, Adam West and Burt Ward.
Yeah. So that always got me. And then, growing up, there were a lot of television shows that I enjoyed. MASH was one. I thought Alan Alda was great. And I just thought, boy, wouldn't it be great to be able to do that for a living?
Yeah, no, and much have you done that. I mean, you've had a very successful career. I know one of my favorite things that you're in is, I know you're just a surgeon in this one, but I really do love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies, The 5 Feet Apart. How, like, when it comes like to a movie like 5 Feet Apart, was it just a regular audition? Were you aware of what the movie was about before auditioning? Did they tell you any of that?
No, as an actor, I just always want to book.
Right.
So, of course, I don't just take any role. There's certain movies that I wouldn't do. But when I was living in Los Angeles, I was working as an instructor at a very prominent audition studio. And I began there as a student. And then after a year, they asked me to be an instructor. So the woman who founded the studio said, there's a guy here that wants some coaching. His name is Justin Baldoni. And he's never acted before, so maybe you can work with him. So I worked with Justin. I was his first acting teacher.
Wow.
So, we get news of what films are coming into town. And when I saw this movie was coming into town, it was called 5 Feet Apart. I had no idea what it was about. But I saw the director was Justin Baldoni. So I reached out to him. I said, hey, Justin, what's up? He was like, hey. I said, hey, if there's anything in the movie, if there's anything for me, I'd be happy to play it. And he was like, sure, we got a nice doctor role for you. So that was really cool. And little Haley Lou was really sweet. And Sprouse Kid was cool. And
yes, love Cole Sprouse. I got to meet him for the first time at Chicago Fan Expo. Okay. And it was cool when he saw the movie. He just grabbed the cover and looked it back and forth. It was kind of odd it's I think he hasn't signed a copy of this movie in a long time or something, because he just it was the first time he's seen it in a long time. So that was a cool reaction from him.
So that was a good time. Time.
Out of all the parts you've done, and I know you've done a lot, what are some of your favorite or memorable ones that you have done?
Well, probably one of my most favorite was, for a number of reasons, I played a character in a Disney series called Secrets of Sulphur Springs.
Okay.
Which was not your typical, Sweet Life. No offense to Cole. It wasn't Sweet Life of Zach and Cody or Sweet Life on Deck. This was a little more tailored to a more mature story. But what made it interesting was it was set in 2 time periods. 1990 and 2020.
Okay.
So 30 years apart.
Okay, wow.
And so in 1990, I played the dad of one of the characters. And then in 2020, I played the grandfather.
Oh.
So same character, but different time periods. So that was cool. And I liked it because I got 8 episodes. So I got work. That's good.
Yes, no, we love work.
It was really cool. It was really cool. And I really enjoyed playing that role.
Wow. And then, so you said you played the obviously the dad and the grandpa. So did they have to do a lot of makeup when you turned 30? Or did they keep you the way you were?
Not too much. They gave me older looking makeup when I was supposed to be the grandfather.
Right.
And then when I was younger, they just there's a little salt and pepper on the temples there, so they just colored that in, and gave me a little. They colored this in, so I have a little more hair. But so it was just cool. It was just really fun, and it was a good cast, really good crew. The crew was a local crew to New Orleans, and just really, really good time. Great experience, and unfortunately, COVID kind of killed it.
Oof. Yeah, no. So that came out, and I'm guessing that came out right before COVID.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We started shooting in 2019.
Okay.
And then they did 4 seasons.
Oh wow.
Or I think 3 seasons.
Yeah.
And I was in the first 2 seasons. I wasn't in season 3.
Okay.
But yeah, when the lockdown hit, and it just became, I guess, too much. I remember we did COVID tests. We wore masks on set when we weren't shooting, and the whole thing, all the protocols. And I think that they were just and the kids, it's a kids show. So over the span of 3 or 4 years, the kids who were already kind of at, the preteen, a lot of them were 16, but still look 13, So in 2 years' time, they shot up. And so I think that's another reason they didn't continue the show. But it was a really well done show, and A lot of people have recognized me from that and really like that. So.
Is that a show? I'm guessing that show, if I want to watch it, I can watch it on Disney Plus.
You can.
Okay, awesome. I'll have to check it out. This is the first time I've heard of it. So
it's a lot of fun. And it deals with time travel.
Yeah, no, that sounds. I love time traveling, like Back to the Future and stuff like that. So, and then you probably love time because of the space track. Star Trek. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
the kids find a portal that takes them back 30 years, and they can go back and forth between them. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So when you're not acting, what kind of hobbies do you like doing?
Well, you can see right there, I'm a guitarist.
Oh, okay.
Which is a lot of fun.
I thought you were about to say you were Willy Wonka. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish I was. But I'm a guitarist, and a lot of my time is spent preparing people, class, preparing for class. So don't have a whole lot of hobbies, although I'm a big music fan. As a matter of fact, when I first moved to Los Angeles, the first year I was there, 98, there was a game show, Rock and Roll Jeopardy. And so I was looking for work. So I opened the classified ads in the paper. That's how long ago that was. And I saw this ad, Rock and Roll Jeopardy. I said, I know a lot of trivia. So I went on and I won. So music is a big thing for me.
What did you win?
$5,000.
Woo! That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I know you've mentioned you mentioned it beforehand, and now you mentioned again. You said you do classes. Is there a place where people can go to sign up for? I'm guessing you teach acting and stuff, correct?
Yep. I teach people how to act and audition for the camera. It's theworkingactorsstudio.com. Simple. Theworkingactorsstudio.com.
Hey guys, so yeah, if you guys want to check that out, because I always like seeing the different people that teach and stuff. Like, you got the acting, and then you got I've seen people like teach the voice acting and stuff. So I think that's a really cool service that you provide.
Yeah.
And especially as somebody that's been in the business for a good period of time. Yeah.
I moved to Los Angeles because there really wasn't training here for that. This is in 97, at the end of 97. And then so I like I said, I only went to go get training. And then after a year at this one place, they asked me to be a teacher. So I started teaching, and I taught in LA for about 10 years, 6-7 years on for them. And then on my own for the last part of it. And then I moved home, and I've been teaching here since 2012. So that makes it 14 years now. Wow. Time flies. And so, so over 20 years of teaching, and a lot of my students have gone on to success.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I worked with Ashley Green, who from Twilight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I worked with a bunch of other people in Los Angeles. Katrina Law, if anybody knows anything about Arrow.
Yes.
So she was in that. She's now in NCIS. I worked with her. And then here, I worked with a guy named Greg Tarzan Davis, who is really hitting it big now. He was in Top Gun Maverick, and then Mission Impossible 7 and 8.
Okay.
And then a guy named Kelvin Harrison Jr. And Kelvin went out to Los Angeles. He's had a lot of success. He was in the Elvis movie with Austin Butler. And then he's currently about to shoot the prequel to The Hunger Games.
Oh, yes. The one that McKenna Grace is going to be in.
I think so.
Yes.
So I've had the chance not only to be a working actor myself, but to help other people achieve their dreams. And it's beautiful.
That is cool. That makes me nerd out about Ashley Green, because I just met her at Oklahoma Galaxy Con last year.
Yeah.
They had 4 of the cast members from Twilight. So that's pretty cool. Wow. Yeah. That's awesome. So hold on, I lost my train of thought for a second. So you said you've got a lot of work in the LA, and you've got a lot of work in the New Orleans. Are you still doing work nowadays?
Oh yeah. Yep. It's been a really slow time across the country for filmmaking. The whole industry is in a kind of a big slump. And that's one thing that our current president, Sean Astin, is trying to do, is to mobilize all the unions together to go to the government and try to get a tax incentive program for the nation and inspire these filmmakers to come back, because they're all going to Canada, they're going to Ireland and England and all overseas, down to Australia, because they say it's less expensive. So, it's a shame because there are plenty of production companies here that don't find it so expensive, and they don't have a problem shooting movies here. But we're working to restore healthy and vital film and television industry. And here, unlike Los Angeles is Los Angeles, so you're there. Here, it's a little bit different because I'm based in New Orleans, but I've worked in Mississippi, I've worked in Nashville, I've worked in Memphis, I've worked in Georgia, Atlanta, obviously. I've even been down to Buenos Aires for a movie. So this is more of a Southeast region, not just like a city, if that makes sense.
I was going to say, I know I've heard Atlanta, Georgia is like the #1 spot for acting at the moment. There's a lot of studios out there.
They do have a lot of studios, but what they found, for a while, they were really huge. For a while, it was New Orleans, and then we messed with our tax incentive program, and everybody went off to Atlanta, and Atlanta has a more wide open tax incentive program. But even now, their studios, a lot of them are empty because the films that would normally be shot there are being taken overseas. So Atlanta's really feeling the pinch too. But that's the one good thing about being an actor here is I can travel to Nashville. I can travel to Memphis. I can travel to Atlanta.
Right.
I could even travel over to Florida or Alabama, Mississippi. And then Texas is right there, and they're starting to really ramp up. So we'll see, it's funny. Most actors that live here in Louisiana, they don't really go west very much. They don't go to Texas that much. It's mostly east. But I think Texas is going to start opening up for us, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and I'd love to see. I know some movies have been starting to film in Arkansas. That's where I'm located.
Okay.
And, there's not many, but there's been a couple. There's a town called Fayetteville, Arkansas, and they've been able to do some movies that I thought was cool. Like Dennis Quaid was in town last year for a movie, and right now supposedly Nicolas Cage is in Little Rock right now for a movie about pancakes or something like that. So it is funny when you hear, oh, this actor's in this town and this actor's in this town.
Yeah.
So with all the projects I know you've been able to work with a lot of actors. Have you ever been starstruck by any actors that you've worked with?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Very early that it was important when you get to a set that you not allow yourself to be starstruck.
Right.
So what happened was I auditioned and booked a role in a movie called The Apostle, which was a Robert Duvall movie. Robert Duvall wrote it, he directed it, he produced it, he starred in it, and it was really his pet project. And I was blessed to get a role in that. And when I got to the set, I knew there's a possibility you're going to be real starstruck. So I decided when I get to the set, I'm just going to look at everybody there and just assign them a title. So that guy is the camera operator. That guy is the electrician. That guy is the grip. That guy is an actor. That guy is an actor. That guy is an actor. And I just made in my mind, the whole playing field level so that when I was doing a scene with Robert Duvall, I wasn't freaking out. Now, the next day, I was like, what are you talking about? And interestingly enough, the scene that I did with him, the other person in the scene that I interacted with was a guy named Walton Goggins. So I don't know if you know Walton Goggins.
Well, I'm pretty sure I do.
Have you seen Fallout?
Yeah, he's in the new Fallout. Yes.
He's the ghoul.
Yes.
And he's been in a bunch of other great stuff too.
Yes, I know exactly what we're talking about now. Yeah. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
So wow, Walton. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Sure. So what I learned there that day is anytime you go into a set, you got to be cool. You got to, and I think part of it is knowing your worth as an actor and going, yeah, I can do this, Now, one place where I would have a problem is if Paul McCartney walked in the room. If I I'd be pretty starstruck if I was doing a scene with Paul McCartney for something, or just meeting him.
I think anybody would doubt it. It's like literally a legend. And yeah, no, I guess that would be one of those things that you'd need to get starstruck real quick. Just introduce yourself and then let it go.
Yeah.
So let it be.
I have worked with some really great actors. I've been really, really blessed to work with some really, really, truly excellent actors. But I try not to get starstruck. And it's interesting, you do your best to learn to read them. If you're working with a celebrity that you really respect, it's finding, is this person going to be approachable? Is this going to be uncool, or is it going to be cool? Or can I make it cool? Like, for instance, when I worked on House MD, of course, the star of that is Hugh Laurie, who's a great actor. And I wanted to say hello, but he was very quiet, very standoffish. But I found out, and this was in Los Angeles, I found out that just prior to when I worked on the show, he had come to New Orleans because he's a musician, and he came to New Orleans to record an album. So that gave me, I was like, sweet, I'm going to use that. Hey, I'm from New Orleans. I heard you just went to New Orleans. Boom, he opened up. So sometimes it's a matter of finding the key, because, I learned this too. One of my friends is a guy named Nathan Hamill, and Nathan is I think the eldest son of Mark Hamill. You've heard of him.
Yes, I've met Mark Hamill.
And so Nathan was a friend of mine back in Los Angeles, and every year he has a big Labor Day pool party at his dad's house. And he was like, hey, why don't you come to the pool party? I was like, sweet. So then there's, I go in the kitchen, and there's Mark hanging out. So I didn't go talk Star Wars with him.
Right.
I went and said, hey, Mr. Hamill, nice to meet you. Hey, yes, nice to meet you. I said, you know what one of my favorite movies is? Corvette Summer, which was a movie that he did between New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. And that opened him right up.
Because he didn't hear that your favorite movie was Star Wars.
Right. Because I'm sure everyone in the world says that, So what I like to do is try to find something that's unusual, or maybe of interest to them,
I do the same thing when I go to these. I go to a lot of Comic Cons, and I've met a lot of people. And usually, when I go bring something to sign, it's usually not your typical thing. Like I met Hayden Christensen. Speaking of Star Wars, so everybody's bringing their Anakin Skywalker, their Darth Vader stuff. Here I am, and I just had a feeling what the item I had, I was going to get more of an interaction and more of an expression, kind of like how you got out of Mark, I had a movie poster of 90 Minutes in Heaven. And, and I went and, I put it down, and when he saw the poster, he's like, oh my gosh, I think this is my first one I've ever signed. And I got like a smile out of him because it wasn't a Star Wars item,
Sure.
And it was funny as I'm an actor myself, so I've been in a couple movies, and I was in a zombie movie, and the main kid that's in the zombie movie was he was like, I think he was like 6 in 90 Minutes in Heaven. That's another reason. And they don't normally, with Hayden's status, they don't normally let you have your phone anywhere near, but I was like, can I please show him this picture? And it was of the kid older. It was a picture of me and the kid, but it was older. And he's like, oh my gosh, he's all grown up. And he really enjoyed that.
That's funny.
So I like doing that. Or when I met Ewan McGregor, instead of getting him to sign Star Wars, I had a Christopher Robin poster. And normally they charge for character names. He wrote for me, and I think because he realized it wasn't a Star Wars, he wrote CR for Christopher Robin. So I've been able to see that. It's like you talk to them about the stuff that they're not normally used to talking about.
Right. Or if you're lucky, find something they're interested in.
That too.
That'll do it. Yeah.
So out of all the TV shows that I know you've been, like I said at the beginning, I mentioned all the different kind of ones that you're in one episode. Is any of those, is there any like good stories that were your favorite from any of the shows I mentioned earlier, like from ER or Grey's Anatomy?
My experiences on them were like good.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Grey's was cool. Grey's Anatomy was cool because I had basically 2 days of shooting, and it was on a Friday and a Friday, so they booked me for the week, which was nice. And of course, there was one day where it was very line heavy. It was very, very intense acting to be done. And then another day, which was simply walking through the shot, looking at Burke and nodding. That was the whole thing. So naturally, my first day there, the hardest stuff they threw right at me. And I'm supposed to be operating on a patient and arguing with Burke while I'm operating. And I'd never, in the audition, it was simple. I just, I didn't really do anything. I just looked at the patient, looked at the video monitor that I was for the patient, and I was looking at Burke arguing with him. And we get there, and there's a whole patient laid out, and there's actual nurses on the other side of the table instructing me how to receive instruments so it looks legit. And I had to remember dialogue, and I had to deal with all this stuff. And I was really happy that I was able to rise to the occasion and do well. So we finished that day's shooting, and the director was an actor in the 80s on a show called 30-something, a guy named Peter Horton. If you've ever seen the original Children of the Corn, I believe he's the male hero in that. So we shot that day, and then I was off for a week, and I came back the following Friday, and I'm just kind of sitting by myself backstage on the soundstage, and he comes over, and he says, "Hey, I just want to tell you, that stuff that we shot last week, that was exactly what I was looking for. I didn't want it to be dramatic doctor stuff. I wanted the sense that this is a guy that does these kind of things all day long. Like, this is just his job. And that's exactly the quality that you brought. So thanks." And I was like, "Thanks, man. I appreciate that." So that was a great experience. And then I enjoyed working on the show Castle.
Okay. Yes. Nathan Fillion.
Yeah. It's because I don't have an opportunity usually to do light stuff. Like, I'm usually heavy drama. Like, I don't know why. I guess I got a drama face. I don't know. But in this particular episode, it was a Halloween episode, and I play a prosthodontist who gives these kids fangs, right? And this kid turns up dead, and they come to me because they say, "Do you know this kid?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that's Crow." And so when I first came out in the script, Castle is a friend of mine. And so when I see him, I'm Richard Castle, what? And so it was very loose and fun until we got the heavy stuff, and then I switched into the drama of the scene. But it was a lot of fun. And Nathan Fillion is one of the nicest celebrities I've ever worked with.
Wow.
There's a handful. Scott Bakula was one. He was great. Nathan Fillion was one. I've had a lot of good experiences with actors, but those two kind of stand out in my mind.
Man, Nathan's career has just keeps launching and launching and launching,
Yeah.
Getting to be the Green Lantern recently, and in The Rookie, I love him in that show and stuff like that. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool to see his career go up.
Yeah.
Has there been any actors that you worked with that were younger that have shocked you that they have been hugely successful now? Is there anyone that comes to mind? So
I worked on a movie called Hover, a small independent science fiction movie. And the young girl, she was a kid. She was probably 6 or 7. Kaylee, I'm spacing on her last name, but she ended up playing Judith on The Walking Dead.
Okay, yes.
And she was also in the movie with, I think it was the movie with John Krasinski.
Okay.
Fantasy movie.
Oh, If.
Yeah, If. I think she's the girl
yes.
in If. And so she's gone on, her last name is escaping me, but that's someone who I worked with, and then she took off.
That's awesome.
It's funny because on the set of Hover, we have this scene where she comes down and talks to us and stuff, and the whole all the cast was like, wow, she's just very natural, very real. And so I'm not surprised, but it was to see her have that success.
Yeah, it's been interesting. It's like when you watch those movies of the kids, they're so young and then they become like hugely, big. Like I was watching. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. You know who's, sorry to interrupt, but you know who's is on the move now, and I think she just won some kind of Stars to Watch award, is Madeline McGraw. If you've seen The Black Phone movie,
okay, yeah,
she's the lead in that, but she was on Secrets of Sulphur Springs as a little kid.
Okay.
And she's starting to take off.
I was gonna, that's crazy. The one that comes into my mind when I think of people is McKenna Grace, because I was watching. It was Mr. Churchill with or Mr. Church. Sorry, Mr. Church with Eddie Murphy. It's a wonderful movie. Mm-hmm. And when the girl has a daughter, I was like, that girl looks familiar, even though she's like only 5 and stuff. And then I found out it's McKenna Grace. That's career has just been off the roof right now.
Yeah, and she's excellent. She actually starred in a television miniseries about a true story about a girl who basically gets abducted from her family.
Oh wow!
And then one of my students here played her sister in it, and said that she was really, great to work with.
Yeah.
And then shortly after that, I think that's when Ghostbusters Afterlife came out, and I thought
she's Phoebe.
She's great in that.
Yes.
She's an excellent actress, and I'm excited to see her, and I hope she does super well.
It's funny, when I met her at the con, I was at the time, I didn't really look her up beforehand, and I knew her as Phoebe.
Uh-huh.
But when you see her in real life, she has the blonde hair. She don't look anything like Phoebe, and I was like, wait, what? And then so that was kind of a cool moment to be like.
Yep.
And then I'm starting to watch all these other movies, and obviously she's blonde in all her other movies, so it's like, oh, she's in that movie, or she worked. The amount of actors that she's gotten to work with at such a young age, because she also got to work with Chris Evans. I think that was Safe Haven or something like that, or I forget what the movie is, but she's with Chris Evans plays the father in that one. So it's been cool to see that career go up. And then her at conventions too. Like last time I seen her, her line was off the chart.
Yeah, I bet.
And it was funny. The first time I met her, what got me to like is first time she saw me. Obviously, I go as Buddy at the conventions, and she's like, "I know him," and she's like a huge Buddy the Elf fan. And we did like this video, and it kind of went viral on TikTok. But we're like, we're singing. We're at the con and we're singing. And it's like just a video, like the agent, like the manager, and then they sent me the video too. And it's funny is when I saw her at the Chicago, this was a year later. I'm in Mason's line. He just was known as a Hiccup in the live action How to Train Your Dragons, and that was a really good live action. And they just did a movie together called Regretting You. But they're right by each other at the con, and I'm in Mason's line because I wanted to meet Mason, and I had a feeling McKenna might see me. But McKenna's line, like I said, was at least a 3 to 4 hour wait. So I'm going to be at Mason. McKenna looks at me and says, "Are you my buddy?" And I said, "Yeah, it's me." And she looks right at Mason and said, "I told you, I know my fans." So it was hilarious.
That's fun.
Do you have anything coming up that you'd like to promote?
Any
projects that you're allowed to talk about?
Yeah, nothing right now. Nothing right now. Like I said, it's a downtime, so just looking forward to the next big booking. Right now, I guess the most recent thing that came out that I did was a movie on Netflix based on the Old Testament book of Ruth called Ruth and Boaz.
Okay.
Which has gotten a lot of exposure, which is nice.
Yeah.
And so that's if you want to check something out, you can check that out. And I was real happy with the work I did on that.
Right. And yeah, I've noticed with your crew, you've been in a lot of Christian movies, and I think that's really awesome. That's how I've gotten to know your work, because I love being able to watch the different. I'm a big Kendrick Brother fan, or with the What Would Jesus Do? I'm a big John Snyder fan. Dukes of Hazzard, Smallville, and let me phrase. Sorry.
It's okay.
When it came to What Would Jesus Do, I noticed that was it something that you? I noticed with that it looked low budget, but it looked like it was very successful. Did you know if that movie would do good, or was it just one of those movies you knew what the kind of the plot was, and being a Christian movie, you're like, I'll go for it?
Honestly, at the time, I was a believer, but I wasn't really practicing my faith.
Okay.
Per se. But I went online, and that was, this would have been 2008, probably 2007, 2008. I went online and I saw on Actors Access, I was just submitting for everything. And I saw pastor loses his faith. So, yeah, I'll submit for that. And I went in and to this audition, and the director was there and did my audition, and they picked me for the movie. I had no idea whether or not it would do really well.
Yes.
I just knew that I wanted to come in, and it was a big role. I was through the whole movie.
Right.
I didn't really have a whole opportunity. Like most of the time I'll be a day player. I'll work for a week or two, or, like the butler, I was there for 6 weeks, which was really cool. But here I was basically the main character in the movie. And I had that opportunity before. So I was super excited and super happy. And so I just wanted to do a good job. That was it. And then, it's funny. There were a lot of people in that I've kept in touch with. John Schneider actually lives here. I've been over to his place a couple of times.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure where he's living right now, but for a while he was about 40 minutes from here, a little bit less. And so we've been to his place a couple times. And then the heavy in that movie is a guy named Mark Arnold. Mark was the bad guy in Teen Wolf with Michael J. Fox.
Yes.
And I have a relationship with him online. I haven't talked to him through Facebook in a long time, but he's a really cool guy. Like, he usually plays bad guys, but he's actually the opposite. And then there was actually a married couple, interracial couple, Kirk and Joni Boville, who I kept in touch with out there in Los Angeles when I was out there. So a lot of lifelong, friends.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. And they got a good shot of you right there on the back.
Yeah, there it is. That's me. Yep. That's Joni Boville, the African-American lady. And then I can't remember the other girl's name, but she was the female lead in the movie, and she was really excellent.
And I forgot, you're also right there too. But
that's me. That is me. Yeah.
The multiple shots of you. So that movie, like I said, I love watching Christian movies. I was also in a movie called Running the Bases. Mm-hmm. That one was really good. It came out about 3 years ago, and I'm really happy with that one. And it's not for the fact that I was in it. I'm only in a small cameo. It just was a legit good movie that spreads the message and stuff like that.
That's great. I worked on God's Not Dead.
Yes.
And they didn't use my scene. The director was a guy named Harold Kronk, really great guy. Yeah. It was a really great experience. And then this would have been 2 years ago. I auditioned for another project he did called Average Joe, which was the story of a Washington State football coach, high school football coach, who went to the field after the game and knelt at the 50-yard line, and the students came over, and it's a true story. The school board told him, "You can't do that." And he was like, "Yes, I can." And they said, "Well, you're fired." And then he sued to get his job back, and he won his lawsuit. Wow. So that was really cool. And the lead in that is a guy named Eric Close.
Okay.
Eric's a character actor, leading man looks. He was on the show Nashville. When I worked on Nashville, I met him there. Very outspoken about his faith. And then so I got to work with him actually in Average Joe, which was really cool. So, and the same director, Harold Kronk. And it's funny, when I got there, Harold's, they call him Kronk. Kronk was like, okay, here comes the one take wonder. I was like, thanks, man. No pressure. And then, as you know, there really wasn't much dialogue for me in the movie, but they kept giving me new stuff to say. So that was always a good sign.
So yeah, with The God's Not Dead, I noticed you're credited on IMDb, but they cut your scene. Are you in a deleted scene on the DVD or something?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think so, but I don't know. So I know
on your IMDb it does got you credited in the movie.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking that you were actually in the movie then. If maybe, like I said, a lot of times with DVDs, which I'll have to check. I think I have the DVD. They'll usually have the deleted scenes on the DVD, and then that's why the actor will usually get added if their scene wasn't in the original take.
Yeah, that's possible. I honestly don't know.
Okay. I'll do some research and I'll find out.
Please do. So the role I played was the main character's father.
Okay.
And the scene that we did was the father and the mother and his little sister are talking to him on a laptop.
Okay.
And I'm telling him, listen, go to class, don't make waves, just get your degree, stop with the shenanigans. And the mom's like, honey, let he needs to do what he needs to do. So it was a good scene.
I swore I've seen that scene.
Maybe you saw it somehow. I don't know. But
or maybe I'm wondering if maybe that was a... Did you... sorry, let me ask this. Did you get to see it in theaters?
I don't remember.
Because I could have swore that may have been a theater cut, and then maybe it didn't make it on the DVD. Because I know I've seen that scene.
Okay.
So I'll do research and I'll find out for you. But no, that is a good line. And yeah, no, I love the premise of that movie and just in general. Yeah. And the franchise that movie has been, they've had like 5 movies now, and I've loved every single one that's came out. Yeah. Phenomenal movie. So before I let you go, I would like to ask you, what is your favorite color?
Green.
Green, hey, that's a great color. And where can these beautiful people find you on social media?
Well, Facebook. Just looked at Jim Gleason.
Yes.
So I have a page for my studio, the Working Actor Studio with Jim Gleason, and Instagram, Jim Gleason Working Actor Studio.
And one more time, where's the place they can contact you if they would like to get classes from you?
theworkingactorsstudio.com.
Okay. Awesome. Well, guys, we just got the pleasure to talk to the one, the only Jim Gleason. And I'm Robert Manning, a.k.a. Buddy the Elf, and we will see you guys later. Woo!
Bye, everybody.